So in the last video, I gave a little teaser that there were tools called Doctopus and Goobric that could help you with assessing student assignments that you'd created in Google Classroom. And I'm just going to take you through a quick walkthrough of how you can use those tools. I've also got a set of instructions that I will link to in the description for this video, where you can follow along and see how you can use those tools in combination with Google Classroom to hopefully make your assessment and tracking of student assignments a little bit easier. So I'm going to open up a new tab here, and I'm going to go to Google Drive. And from within Google Drive, I'm going to click on New to create a new blank Google Sheet. And this is where your assessment data will be tracked. So to begin with, we'll need to go to Add-ons and get an add-on that's called Doctopus. And you can see it's already here, previewed in my template, but if you don't see it, it's spelled like octopus with a D in front. And you can search for it. When it comes up, you simply click on the free button. And it's going to ask you for a whole bunch of permissions, as you see here. You will click accept. I guess I should mention right now that in terms of why it needs all these permissions, the team that built Doctopus, they don't get any student data that might be in your spreadsheet, but Doctopus will do things as you, like create assignments and share them with the students, etc., etc. So I'm going to click on accept, and Doctopus should pop up automatically on the right side of my screen in a moment. I'll close this little prompt here. And here's our Doctopus window. Now if that didn't pop up, I closed it there, I could simply go to Add-ons and go to Doctopus and choose a roster. So because I have Google Classroom associated with this teacher account, I'm going to say ingest a Google Classroom assignment. And I can go to my class, and I've only got one class right now. I do have several assignments here, but the one I want to work with is the Google Doc assignment. And I should warn you ahead of time that I've only got 2 students set up in this class. So what I'm going to do is click on ingest the assignment. And it'll take a few moments for Doctopus to collect this information. And you can see that down at the bottom here, it's showing me sheet 1, which is what I started with, and then it's created a new sheet where the class roster is based on what I had created in Google Classroom. So here's the assignment that we're looking at, and I've got Angela's assignment here where she's just got the one Google Doc, and Daniel has the audio file and the demo assignment. So on the spreadsheet, if I look at the file names, the demo assignment for Angela is here and the one for Daniel is here. So what I'm going to do now is attach a Goobric, which is a combination of the words Google and rubric, just to show you what the rubric looks like. I've set it up here, so I've got my criteria down the left side and my scoring across the top. It doesn't have to be a scale of 1 to 4. You could have numerical grades in there. You could have keywords like excellent, satisfactory, good, needs improvement, etc. It doesn't really matter. What is important is that this cell A1 does need to be blank. You'll notice here that I have different sentences on different lines in a spreadsheet. The way that you can do that is to use Alt and Enter to come down a line. So that's how you do that. It took me a while to figure that out on Google Spreadsheets. So there's my rubric. I'll jump back over to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to attach a Goobric. Now what it's going to do is it's going to prompt me to get the Goobric Chrome extension. This will be a one-time thing. So I'm going to click here to install the extension. It'll take me to the Chrome Web Store. And I'll simply click on Add to Chrome. And again, it's made by the same people who created Doctopus at New Visions Cloud Lab. And I'm going to click Add here. So it won't be sending student data. Now you'll notice on my screen that the Goobric web app icon doesn't appear. What you should see is something like this little eyeball here sitting up here beside the star for your favorites. I think that's because I've got a new screen and the screen resolution doesn't allow it to show up. So I'm going to close that. I can close this whole tab for the Chrome Web Store now, and I'm back into my spreadsheet. Now I'm just going to close this and look in my drive, and so I have to click to select a spreadsheet, and here is the rubric that we just looked at. So I'm going to click select, and there it is. I will attach the rubric, and what it's going to do right now is tie that rubric to those student documents. And what you'll see now is that up in the top of my screen, Doctopus and Goobric have added in the criteria that were in my rubric. So the way I can use this right now is that I can go click on the Goobric icon, which through experience I know is sitting beside the star here. The other way to open up Goobric is to open up a student assignment, and you can certainly use the same icon right from within the student assignment. So I can click on the Goobric launcher here, and it should ask me for a couple of permissions. So yes, it needs authorization to run, continue. Again, it's not going to be sending your students' data anywhere else. It's just going to be running as you, doing different things. So I'll click accept, and there we go. It's going to run. Now it's also asking for permission to use my microphone, and the reason it's doing that is because it will allow me to add audio feedback to the assignment. So I'm going to click on allow, and you can see that it still says audio disabled up here. So I'm just going to refresh my page, and now I've got the ability to give audio feedback. So the reason I like Goobric is because you can see across the top of my page I've got all of the criteria that were in my rubric are here, as well as the descriptors for achievement at that level. And so I can simply go through and click on them. So ideas and details, a level 4, organization 3, and work my way through my rubric here. Another powerful feature is that you can certainly continue to give feedback within the document. So as a teacher, while I'm scoring the rubric, I can give feedback directly in the document using suggested edits, or just simply using the comment feature. I can come over to the far right and give some overall comments. If I would like to, I can add some audio feedback. Great job, Angela. I can listen to it if I want to preview it. Great job, Angela. And when I'm satisfied with it, I click on Upload to save it to Google Drive. And what will happen is I've got the box ticked here to email the rubric and the link to the audio file back to Angela. And I'll also click on Auto Advance on Submit, so it will go to the next assignment that can be marked with Goobric. So it should jump right to this demo assignment from Daniel Wilson once I submit this. So I'm going to click Submit, and it's jumped to Daniel's audio file, which is fantastic. I didn't expect that. I'm going to skip that and go right to his written assignment. And I can go through and give Daniel his feedback here. And I will submit that one as well. So what happens with the assignments that come into you are that within your spreadsheet you are able to keep track of the scores on the rubric. They're all recorded there. What the student sees is appended to the end of their document is the rubric. So it's dated and time-stamped and who submitted the assignment, and so each item is scored and it's highlighted for the criteria where their achievement was. The overall comments appear, and there's a link to the file where they can get the feedback. Great job, Angela. They would get the same kind of thing emailed directly to them. Now, if I went back to Angela's assignment and I wanted to reassess Angela's work because she's made changes, etc. So it's got the previous work or the previous scoring that I gave to her. But let's say I'm going to change this now. So I've given her, if she's made some improvements, and I'm going to say some improvements there. The overall impression is still a 3. The oral has improved. Thanks for making the changes, and I will submit that. And what you will find is that within your spreadsheet, the most recent achievement now appears, but you can actually track previous achievements on the rubric scores tab. So you can see that Angela has submitted the assignment twice. If I had a full class in here and I wanted to narrow down just to specific students and see their work, I can use the filter view within Google and say, okay, I just want to see work from Angela. And now I've just got Angela's view and all the records of her various attempts at the assignment. And I can turn off the filter view here to bring Daniel back. If I wanted to filter for Daniel, it is important that you're up in the top cell to do this. So click on A1, filter, and just say I want to see Daniel, and there's his only attempt. I'll turn the filtering off again. So I think this is a really powerful tool for you to record assessment data, and it works really well with Classroom. So kudos to Andrew Stillman and the team at New Vision's Cloud Lab for developing such a great tool that works really well for students and teachers. So that's it for tying Doctopus and Goobric to Google Classroom, and I hope you can see that it's much more powerful than the simple grading scheme that's provided by Google within Google Classroom.